Welcome, everybody. We're back. Another episode of Open Net, and I'm back. And I'm joined with ICB and Quilly. Y'all say hi.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going, y'all? Good to see you this evening.
Oh, we are back, and we're live again with we got another really great set of topics. And, as we get closer to playoffs, things are going to get a lot more tense. We're going to have a lot more to talk about. Not quite as many teams, but what happens. And we got match 8 in this week in review. We've got stuff coming up and things going forward. Quilly, my man in FL, what did you see happen this week that caught your eye?
In FL, big week this week. A lot of wins, losses. Third week. The best. 3-2 win over the Hurricanes in match. A very controversial substitution in Hurricane. That saw a lot of that. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to take the win. They started out with a strong 2-1 lead. We made a nice substitution to get Fluffy in there. Personally, what we feel like is our best lineup. Me, Fluffy, at least me, Fluffy think we're just too pie. We get each other. You got to have that chemistry, and the chemistry goes a long way. But we got the 2 wins after that and took the 3-2 series lead to tie the overall record in doubles in our conference. So it was a very big week for that. The Hurricanes gave a good fight again. Definitely it beats getting 5-0 like we did last time. It feels a lot better to take a 3-2 win. Shout out to Goons Kilos on the other team. I believe that's how you say the name. A 5 Sal with 10 saves. Absolutely put on a clinic defending that net. Like I always say, low Sals win championships out of nowhere. I think they were picked up this week, and it was a great performance by them. But luckily we got the win over them.
I have to point this out. I forgot how much action I got to see this past weekend. I forgot I casted your match.
I'm glad I got to put on a show for you.
Well, it couldn't have been that memorable if you forgot you even casted it.
Hey.
Let me give them credit.
I put in 12 goals.
Exactly. They were absolutely fantastic. But also, I had to watch the Blizzard and the Dodgers and the Elite over in PL and ML and CL for a while. So
you mean to tell me I'm not better than PL players?
You're just so good that it's circled all the way back around to FL. Like you ranked out of PL and straight back down to FL again.
That's just how it works.
Let's also shout out Warrat, who is in the chat right now, who is also casting your game.
Warrat is one of my favorite other talent and casters to work with. I casted a World Cup series with him, and absolutely great. But Warrat, while you're here, the title of the episode is "The Comets Did What?" So I went when I found out that I was going to be back on the show again, and I was like, okay, so let me go and take a look at what happened this past week. And one of the matches that I kind of do is I go and I look at the standings to see like who's in the top 4 and who they played this week, to see kind of like what matches, what's at risk, what chips are on the table. And I saw the Wizards were playing the Comets. I'm like, that can't be that bad. I mean, the Wizards are, and I'll get to this point later, but the Wizards are in the top 4, and the Comets are second to last. I kind of wanted to see what happened. The Comets scored 33 goals to the Wizards 6. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but the Comets absolutely blew it out. And Quilly, I'm sorry for cutting you off. You stopped talking. I thought you were done.
No, you're good. We got to do a tangent. It happens. But continue, just real quickly go through another FL game. Elite with a 5-0 win over the Dodgers is very huge for the FL division. Elite they shake up their conference basically by taking over first. But the Elite with a 5-0 crucial, it's a late season win over the Dodgers, which, like I said, pushes them into first place over the Outlaws. I believe it's hard to keep track of all these stats. So much going on this late, so much movement.
One win.
It's a very pivotal move, but see if they can hold it. The Elite show off their dominance on both offense and defense with a goal differential of 21-6. A 12 goal performance by Sinister S13 and a series leading 5 saves by Piggy Buggy. But like anytime your Piggy Buggy had 9 goals, but anytime your lowest scoring player is outscoring the entire other team, it's a recipe disaster for your team. So it's a very dominant win. Dodgers definitely take a huge blow with that. The Elite moving up to first place, and they have their work cut out for them with the Outlaws, trailing only 1 game behind. The Outlaws are right on their coattails. They got to see if they could fight or hold that spot, show their dominance, see what they can do. This series also drops the Dodgers down to 4th place, thus giving the Bears their 3rd seed. So the Bears got something good out of that. It bumps them up, helps them out.
For sure. I love the Elite. DK just stepped in as the franchise manager this season, and Piggy Buggy just stepped in as well as the general manager. And to see the Elite start dominating the league as they should, and I'm putting a pause on there because they know they should. And I know some of them are in chat right now. I want you to tell this back to your FL team. I expect y'all in finals.
Hey, hopefully we see them there. Hopefully as an Eclipse player.
Yeah, hopefully the Comps will be there too, I guess.
Oh, come on, not that comp. It's too early in the stream for this.
It really is. It's like we just got here. ICB, give it. Let it. I'm not saying let it die because it is the single greatest meme that has come out of OpenNet the entirety of the season. But, anyways, all the way back around before I accidentally cut Quilly off on his reporting for this week. Warrat, what did you do to the Wizards and how did you do it? Because you got the Bad Loaf and Warrat that had 75 and higher Sprocket ratings, and then you had the Bomb and Woe from the Wizards have less than 25. The score line for Game 3 was 15-3. That just absolutely blows my mind. And we actually, as the panel, we went and checked to see what the official MLE record was, and the record for most goals in a game is 16. So you missed you missed tying it by 1.
It's close.
It was very, very close. And I think the record for goals in a series was a lot higher. I forget exactly what it was. But y'all absolutely messed it up again in 2s. And on top of that, to get back to my earlier point, if you look at the standings, it didn't even hurt the Wizards that bad. It leveled out. It leveled out their record at 20-20. But funny enough, the Wizards are the number 1 team in the Mystic Division for the Orange Conference. However, they have a negative 16 goal differential and a losing series record of 3-5. However, they're in the top 4 because the Spectre, Demolition, and Comets are all almost nearly completely out of the playoff running due to the heavy losses they took during the 4 weeks of interdivisional play, or 3 weeks of interdivisional play. So you couple them going out and losing to a bunch of teams, and the Wizards being kind of okay. I mean, the Comets have a 2-6 record. The Demolition have a 3-5. I'm sorry, ICB, but I gotta call your 2s team out. We'll get to your 3s team in a little bit, but
no one's safe.
No one is safe. Your 2s team needs some help right now. The Comets have a 0.04% chance to get into the playoffs. I want to know what series of events has to happen, B++, for that to happen, because I would love to see that happen for the Comets to come back in the last 3 weeks and make playoffs somehow. I don't know. Like, there have to be
a literal Cinderella story.
Yeah, right. And then you go over to the Blue Conference, and we're switching over to 3s. You got the Hawks coming in heavy with their week again, not even remarkably coming close. The Shadow also sneaking out a 3-2 against the Pandas in the first week of returning to divisional play. That race in the Orange Conference is so extremely close. You have a 3-way tie, and 3 of the Tropic Division teams are in the playoffs right now. The only one not in is the Flames, but the Flames are only a series. They have the same series record. They're only a couple games down. So it's entirely possible for the Flames to knock one of those out. And we'll talk to that later. But CL this week, ICB, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
All right.
CL was extremely tense, and the very first game I really want to look at is the doubles in the blue conference with the Wolves and the Foxes. Foxes lost out to the Wolves 1-4. The Wolves came in and they dominated the Foxes lineup as hard as they could. They basically shot themselves up and overtook the Foxes. They have a matching win-loss record of 2020, but in a similar way that the Wizards are currently top of the division in AL2s, the Wolves are in the same exact position. Foxes are down out currently in the hunt, but fighting for their life with the Puffins as well, trying to get back into play-ins. We have Gio and Moxes who put on a great defensive show against the Foxes, getting a combined 23 saves altogether in the series. And Wolves showing that quality shots will beat out quantity every time, putting on more on net, making 40% of their total shots, while the Foxes only were only able to hit 23% of their shots on net. And of course, going over into the 3 side, we have the Spectre versus the Demolition. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, Spectre versus Demolition. Spectres blew up my demos. They absolutely ravaged them. Uh, I honestly expect anytime to face the Spectres, I expect it to be a really close match, really tight. That was not the case here. And in CL, we have a pretty high scoring team with the demo, especially for threes. Spectre, bottom of the bracket, they did not care. They did not show a hint of empathy for the Demolition and just shut down one of my players. Scooter Dom, I'm sorry, you came in with 0 goals on net, just blocked by everyone, thanks to the impressive play of Riley Man, Quick Claw, Lion Lord, putting on a great defensive display, and also coming alive with 13 goals and upwards of 16 saves throughout that entire series. Great work by the Spectre to basically blow up my guys. And yes, I did rag on them after the game. I want y'all to know that.
Glad you have some humble to you. You can bash on your own team here. But yeah, defense wins championships. That you get one you can teach offensive moves, you can teach all the flicks you want, but defensive reactions are one of those things you just gotta have.
At the end of the day, like you're saying, Quilly, you can have all of the offensive chemistry as far as passing plays goes, but if you cannot keep it out of your own net, you're not going to win because it takes that one mistake or that one beat back or that one offensive chance that they have. And if you don't know what you're doing, then go ahead and then you're just gonna concede. And that happens at every level. That happens from PL all the way down to FL. There's no escaping it. You have to learn defensive rotations first. And some of the greatest teams that I've ever played, some of the greatest challenges that I've ever had, is the teams that know how to defend and know how to rotate. They aren't even good shooters. They're not even good offensive players. They can't. I played against a team that literally didn't leave the ground all the entire game. And you know what? But they were the best defending team, and I had a really hard time beating them.
Yeah, the fundamentals definitely help win the games. Like if you're like you said, no matter how good you are offensively, getting shut down, like say if you're setting up a beautiful shot and it gets stopped, that can be demoralizing to your team. So at the end of the day, just being a good defensive team is never a bad thing, and it can always pan out and help you win.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, no, I'm very excited for how the rest of the season is going to look out and how the Demolition are going to bounce back from this heavy, heavy loss.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt them right where it counts. Especially we only at with this week included. There's only two more matches left this week and next week's match, and then after that we're on to playoffs, boys. You think about it? We're already to playoffs. It seems like just yesterday we were doing match predictions and,
I
and
just I felt like
roasting roasting
I
Luke.
was getting drafted the other day. Like I just remember hearing my name. I guess that's what I'm still thinking. The crazy that we gotta the pressure's gonna be on.
Oh yeah, the pressure is most definitely on. It's coming down to the wire. Things are pretty much. I mean, we've got the playoff race channel back open in the main server. It's actually great. Um, you can see actually what teams have actually already been eliminated from that. And for FL, and CL, we have the Tyrants twos, the Bears threes, the Rhinos threes, the FL, sorry, Outlaws threes. the AL2's Bulls, the AL3's Sabres, the CL3 Wolves, ML2 Sabres, ML2's Hurricanes, ML3's Elite, and ML2's Pirates have all been officially eliminated from either their division race or playoff contention, depending. And you guys can all read that in playoff contention there. So moving on, ML this week, which I actually watched a few of the ML matches that were on stream. What happened this week in ML?
Well, I will be taking one of the ML matches, so sorry if you happen to be this match. I'm going to do my best. But the Lightning and Blizzard face off with some highly intense matches. Blizzard running away with a 3-2 series win over the Lightning. Blaster and Brandon, I believe. No vowels, hard to figure out. Got to figure that out. Putting on 47 shots against the Lightning's own 47. It's a 47 to 47.
Yeah, that's if my math checks out. Yeah, I think that's right.
Shots on shots on shots, and offensive output. It's insane. But the Blizzard's showing that the Lightning can't strike twice and just being more accurate. The Blaster and Brandon running, putting up a wall and icing out the Lightning with a total of 25 saves over the series. Lightning finding some spark only after the series. Now win-loss matches, they're matched in twos in same record, I believe. From that series, it ends up tying them up in the records and the standings, and it's exciting to see what's going forward.
For sure, I happened to see the series report because I think it was right around when Demo finished their game, and it was terrifying to see how strong the Blizzard are. Blizzard, of course, also leading the division in threes at 30 and no, wait, that's CL. Sorry. Actually leading the division now at 25-15. Again, just being the better team by that much, just by beating all the other teams in their division just by the tiebreaker and taking the lead there. Absolutely fantastic. And then after that, we also have the Pandas versus the Shadows. And in their threes matchup, we see the number 1 seed Pandas, top tier Pandas in the Orange Conference with a 27-13 record, losing to the Shadow. 1-4, Shadow jump up into the play-ins, back up into number 7 seed in order to be counted towards playoffs. If they can stay in this position, they will be in a playoff position and be able to challenge the number 5 through 5 and 6 seeds as well. We have the Pandas losing in 2-3 series and a reverse sweep. And I just really want to shout out the series striker, Heimgame. I'm going to mess up that name so bad. I'm so sorry, Heim.
It's Heimgame.
Heimgame.
Yeah, translator.
Yeah, thank you.
Rocket League translator.
Who, between the entire team, they put on a very defensive show, both sides doing their best. But Haim putting on the most shots on net, 66% shooting average, and carries the Shadow into that series victory and getting them into that play-in position.
Yeah, that this is the late season, an upset. This is the time of year when you're the 1 seed, not what you want to happen, but when you're the lower seed, this is exactly what you need to happen to make those late pushes. Definitely shakes up a lot of stuff, but the upsets are always fun to see.
Yes, upsets are, especially this late in the season, can mean the difference between a 1 seed and like a 3 or 4 seed, meaning that you don't get that first round bye week. Personally, I wouldn't really like a 1 week bye week. I feel like that would throw the chemistry of a team off, but it depends on a team by team basis, and it depends on what your team chemistry is like. A bye week might be really good, but for other teams, a bye week may really actually hurt them. So teams aren't going to intentionally play to lose to not get to get the bye week or whatever. But that's also something to look forward to coming up to the end of regulation play and now heading into the play-ins and then the conference championships, division championships, etc., going from there.
You definitely like that week off, but that week off could also be detrimental. So you see how that shakes out, and hopefully hope for some good games.
Oh yeah. Petition to move fresh to PL. Sorry, just reading
I
agree.
I agree. Speaking of moving into PL, sorry, I just took that took that transition from you. My bad.
Nah, go for it. Have at it.
So, Orange Conference, my favorite conference right now. Definitely not just because Demolition's in there. We have the Rhinos, number 1 in both 2s and 3s, facing against the Shadow. Shadow completely cover up the Rhinos and take the series 3-2 in a hard-fought match against them. Shadow put on an impressive 37 saves altogether with the spectacular defense of Coleman, Hornet. I know it says Horny on there. I meant Hornet. And Eurodin. In my defense, I was writing these notes at about midnight last night.
I'm hold on. Continue talking. I'm saving that for the open net chat. Go
ahead. Clip it.
The Rhinos, led by Red. Shout out to Red, by the way. Absolute fantastic individual. Put on a shocking total of 58 shots altogether through the team, but they could not break through the Shadows defense, and the Shadows inch closer to taking the number 1 overall as Rhinos hold that lead with just enough to see the light.
Yeah, there was a huge win there for the Rhinos, especially with PL being as few teams as they are. Everything is very close knit. A couple of games can mean the difference between the first seed and like the last seed, unless you are, I believe there's one team, unless you're the Shadow in doubles.
Duncan on
unless you're the Shadow in doubles. In that case, I don't know what you did with your season. I remember when we were talking about like the beginning of the season when that was coming up. We talked about after the draft how they were like, "What is this? This was like the best draft that could have possibly happened for the Shadow." And then just over the course of the season, they just completely fell off. Now in 3s, on the other hand, they're doing really well. So maybe they built for one side and not the other. But this still comes to reason. Your 2s team, as much as I can say it, with being an AL player, talking to the PL players, your 2s team needs some work.
You guys need to do better. As an FL player, you need to do better.
Spend some time in free play, my dudes.
I can recommend some training packs for you.
I can recommend some training. We'll put it in chat real quick. We'll drop the training pack codes for you real quick so that you guys can do some doubles practice. But
all of you except for Horny need to do training packs.
With that being said, I think you had one more, right?
I did have one more. I also, again, I'm really focusing on 3s this week because I do love that mode personally. I got to witness the Flames burn up and steam the Blizzard in a 4-1 win live on stream. The teams were fairly well matched in their own conference. They had matching win-loss records for the Orange and Blue, but we can see that the Flames just has a little bit more power behind them. When they met up for 3s, they melted out the Blizzard. John and Deadsy put on a fantastic show, scoring goal after goal for a combined total of 11 goals out of their 24 shots, and weathering all the entire storm from the Blizzard, blocking every single one of their shots was Cheese Sandwich with an impressive 9 saves, and Deadsy coming in to support with 7 saves of his own. And overall, we had a grand total of 34 shots from the Blizzard blocked between the two of these players. And all it shows is that while the Blizzard have a deeper roster and they might have a little bit more of a stretch and more people to play with, the Flames are more tight-knit, especially when it comes to Cheese, Deadsy, and John. They can work so well together, and they have that chemistry for 3s. They will be a threat against the Rhinos coming up towards playoffs.
Yeah, Deadsy was the first overall pick of the Master League draft, lasted 3-4 weeks, if even that, and then went straight to PL. Everybody called it. Everybody knew it was going to happen, but they are definitely taking advantage of that now. So props to was it the Flames that got him? I can't remember.
The Flames win, yeah. Flames win 4-1.
Flames that picked up Deadsy, because that was a huge win for their record. Deadsy's absolutely cracked, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken, but he's absolutely cracked at Fortnite. If I can bring that meme from 2016 back real quick, just for a moment.
An oldie but a goodie.
I
So-
graduated college back then. Hold on.
I graduated high school in 2016.
That was a year after. Gosh, you guys are old.
I don't.
Don't let me
I'm on
bring
your-
out my cane, mother. I forgot.
You're gonna bring out his cane? Yeah. Let me just put on my my Newsies hat and glasses right here. Even ICB out here looking like he's that one guy from That 70s Show.
I forgot what show I was on for a second there.
That 70s Show.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have two very anxious, very patient guests waiting for us behind the scenes that are with Sprocket and the dev team. They've been on the show before Sprocket was released, and we've brought them back to be with us. So, Omega Blaze, if you would be so kind to bring in our friends, please. We have none other than Zach's on this side and Shuckle's on this side. Say hi to those guys.
Hey, what's going on,
Zach,
everybody?
Shuckle.
What's up, y'all?
So, we can take turns asking questions for the Sprocket guys, but it's been several weeks. I forget what episode it was exactly that we aired the original interview with you two on about Sprocket before it was released, but now Sprocket's been released, injected into MLE. Scrims are now running off the Sprocket system. League play is running off the Sprocket system. So, there was a lot of players that at the beginning of the Sprocket's launch had a lot of issues with it. So initially, what went wrong with the initial launch of Sprocket?
Yeah, so I can speak to that a little bit. So Sprocket's a little complex behind the scenes, and there's a lot of moving pieces. Really, what the biggest issue was at the beginning of the launch was our ELO system was not working the way that we expected it to. And I think, as everybody knows, since Amelia came out in season 12,
Season
I
12,
think.
yeah.
Season 12, ELO's kind of been the driving force behind the league. So obviously that causes some issues because we need that data to be correct, especially going into the playoffs for competitive integrity. Really, another big part of it was we had a much harder time finding people to help us test. With Amelia, a lot of you will remember we had Mini League Esports where we ran like a mini league. And a lot of people helping to test scrims before it went out. And we had a lot less just time for that, as well as just engagement from the community, which is just kind of how it goes. I think that for what it is, the release is actually fairly successful. Anytime you launch a big project like this, especially when it's brand new, you're bound to run into issues. And for an all-volunteer team that really dove on a lot of those issues, fixing them up in the first couple of days, there were some things wrong with it, and we've talked about them and identified how we can prevent that going forward. But overall, I think it was a successful launch.
One thing I really want to point out is I do want to shout out you and the rest of the devs. I know Hyper Coder was working especially hard to get those hot fixes in. And, anytime an issue popped up, he was one of the first people I saw responding and trying to bounce it out. And I know you were in the background, not chatting, but working at the same time.
Hyper's been, like you said, they're all volunteers. So as the fact that they're doing this all for us, just for the betterment of us to have a better experience in MLE, just nothing but a shout out for them.
Yeah, Hyper and Nigel as well. Both were instrumental in getting a lot of this stuff fixed as quickly as it can. And I think that we would have had a much bumpier road if not for the hard work that they put in.
Agreed. So, Zach, my question towards you is, how has Sprocket been fixed? What's the short answer for the hot fixes we've had so far? I know there's been a lot since release, and just a little quick, what all have y'all done to get those fixed?
Yeah, so like Shuckle said, we had a couple bugs on launch. A lot of them were around ELO and salaries and stuff. Those have been fixed largely just due to community bug reports and people helping us identify these issues. So for those that haven't used the site, we have a little support bubble in the bottom right. And so whenever people have problems with their scrims, you just click on that support bubble. And you should be able to chat with somebody pretty soon to resolve your issue. So that's really helpful for us to like identify and triage these issues and find patterns between different problems and figure out ways to fix them. And so with Elo and with the other small problems that we had, like Shuckle said, a lot of work has gone into making things as stable as possible and really cleaning stuff up. And we should have a lot less problems going forward. Right now, we're mostly focused on getting a solid base that we can build off of in the future so that we don't have these kind of league disrupting issues.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Another question going forward for you, Zach. Again, going forward, how long do you expect there to be between updates? And how close are the features being added versus general bugs and making sure core features are working properly?
Yeah, so like I just touched on a little bit, right now we're mostly focused on making sure things are stable, right? We do have plans for the next major release that Shuckle will talk about in a little bit. But so these sort of bug fixes and small improvements should be released pretty regularly. At a regular cadence where we're constantly, getting reports from people and fixing problems and then releasing as soon as they're ready to go out. And like I said, we're focusing on having the solid base of Sprocket. So scrims and replay submission and looking at league matches, all that kind of stuff, making sure that the base is solid so that we can build these new features that everybody is so anxious to get, right? And so those regular releases will be pretty frequent. And then our major updates where we're adding big features will be much less frequent. But there will be obviously a lot of communication about all of these releases, detailing what's being fixed and what's being worked on in the background.
Oh, thank you very much. That clears up a good amount of stuff.
And going back to you, Shuckle, so we know there's eventually going to be a big update coming up. Is there a preview of these update features that we can talk about or that you can share with us? Preferably things that will be like somewhat immediate.
Yeah, so I know that we have coming up like in the near future, so I'd say like within the next couple of weeks, the next month at the latest, there's a lot of like quality of life stuff coming. So there's been some work on webhooks where report cards are now hand delivered straight to your franchise's server. If your FM or GM have provided us with a link to do that. There should be more for that. I know the biggest one is getting a ping when a scrim is created for your league. Hopefully that will help increase some of the activity. That should be included in the next little bump as well. And I think for features, that's the majority of like what users are going to see. But once we get to like the next major release, that's kind of where a lot of the cool stuff is going to start to happen. Back when like I first joined MLE, and for those of you who've been around for a while, you remember everything used to be spreadsheets. Used to be a Google sheet that you would go and dig through the list of 2,000 players to find who you were looking for, and it was a wonderful time. Then we kind of got to Metabase and Emilio and starting to present that data a little bit differently. So really what we're hoping to see in the next release is kind of the next iteration of that. We want Sprocket to sort of be a unified platform for accessing all of your MLE data, and we're going to see the first kind of trickle of that. So you're going to have like a player dashboard you can look at. It'll have your scrim and your match history. It's going to have your stats over time. It's going to be a really good tool for scouting. Something similar for franchises. And then you're going to have like scrim and match summaries, kind of similar to what you're seeing on ball chasing.
Definitely looking forward to those
That's gonna be
those
huge.
pings. Those pings are going to be huge.
I mean, that pretty much answers my general questions because, like, in the process of of ICB asking that question and you talking about it, I had 4 people DM me and tell me to ask you exactly that. Things like, I know a lot of people are asking for pingable roles because absolutely nobody knows when a scrim comes up. I know there's a lot of players that like do scrims religiously. They'll go into Sprocket, they'll have it open all day, they'll make a scrim, and then it will never pop because nobody knows what's going on. And they kind of rely on those Discord pings or seeing it, even just seeing it in a Discord channel, scrolling through Discord. Oh, there's a scrim up. I don't really need to do one, but you know what? I feel like playing Rocket League, and ranked is cancer. So we're going to go play a scrim. That's kind of like where a lot of the activity came from. So I know like that is a feature that is coming in the near future. I'm not really going to pressure you with an ETA on it because this is all volunteer work, right? This is all work that you guys are doing outside of your 9 to 5s, or I'm guessing for you guys, it's like 7 to 12s, 7 to 12 a.m., like 18-hour day, or whatever the time is. And you guys are doing all this volunteer work just to benefit the league, and all these people. So we do appreciate it. Encourage you to keep up the good work, in fighting those battles. And I'm sure you guys in chat, anybody going on, in the main server, if you guys want to get in on Sprocket, they talk to these guys. They will help you figure out if there's something you want to do, if there's something they need done. Many hands make light work. The more people they have on this project to help it get it off the ground, the quicker we get features that you guys need, the quicker they build their product, and then they can take it to other leagues, etc. So
to that point, it's not just developer work. I want to make it clear. There is a lot that needs to be done and a lot that we need help with, from dev stuff to data stuff. If you have a data-oriented mind and want to decide what stats to show on player profiles and how to present that information in new and interesting ways, or design, we're working on a new iteration of the website to make it a little bit easier to use, a little bit easier to find things. So if you've got kind of a design inclination and you want to help guide the future of the Sprocket site, there's tons of stuff to do, and we are happy to take new people on.
Saga salesman? He's selling me on whatever on that stuff right now. I'm ready to jump on
for the low price of
$29.99. It's like that meme from Family Guy. You can't try to sell me this Prius when you've got a tank sitting here. Does the Prius have missile detection? It does not. Okay. So thank you both for being here. I'm absolutely sure we will see you again, and maybe not in the near future, but maybe sometime this off season, and definitely before season 15, probably before the draft episodes. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you for taking the time out of your night to come and answer these questions and show your lovely faces to the community. Until next time, boys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Bye, friends.
All right. And that means that ICB, I'm going to let you handle this topic because this is your child that you developed, and it aired last week. And I know we've got a lot more people here to look at it this week, looking at the viewer count. So I'm going to let you handle the walkthrough of this, because it is yours. And I think that'd be a great way, because you also know what's going on and I do not.
Well, let me be clear. I am not this is not my brainchild. This is the great work of my co-content manager, Isaiah. This is Rocket Raccoon working on it. This is Luke, who does our amazing graphics that you see here on the screen as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a standings check-in with our playoff picture, which y'all will be able to see now. So we're going to start off by looking at FL. Quilly, you're going to like the look of this. If I remember right, y'all are... Yeah, you actually will like this in a moment, because we're going to look at FL2. Actually, no, FL's blended together. So we're going to look at FL2's orange and blue conference together. If we can go ahead and get that up on screen for me.
It is.
There we go. There we go. I have too many windows open. So, of course, we're going to talk about the elites shooting up to the top of the record, beating out the Outlaws, that 27-13, just one more above them, and carrying them to victory there. And then over on the blue conference, we have the Eclipse. Actually, should be number 2. Hold on.
No, different divisions.
Different divisions. You're right. Well, actually, no. For FL, No, you're right. You're right. My bad.
I think I know a
But-
thing or two. I think I got.
I can never.
I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two.
I have never been more involved in sports than since I've joined MLE, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's a fun experience.
Oh yeah, but yeah, looking at the FL2's playoff picture at the moment, we have the Elite up top, we have the Hurricanes up top in their division, Express and Outlaws guaranteed to match up with them, and then in the number 3 and number 4 we have the Eclipse versus the Spartans and the Bears versus the Dodgers. Love seeing this picture. And these folks also moved around a lot since the last time we saw this picture. Shout out to Bear, who isn't in the show, but unfortunately, Jot's not on top.
I mean,
love to see
Jot's
that.
on top if you're in Australia.
Jot's on top of Australia. You know, they're mid tier. They're mid tier right now.
Yeah, they're fighting. We're giving. He's just being nice. He's giving the benefit of the doubt.
I listen. I have to be mean sometimes, and sometimes I try to be as kind as I can. This is one of those moments. It's pitying, but it's kind. Let's move over to the threes playoff picture real quick, and also show that off because we have the Outlaws now at the very top of this with the Tyrants right next to them, and then we also have the Eclipse in that number 2 spot in the Blue Conference with the Spartans, coming from basically flip flopping and taking control in 3. Willie, how do you feel about your threes team in general, just out of curiosity?
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna like where we're sitting if we're holding one of the top spots. We got a good lead over who the teams behind us, so we're liking sitting there. Except for the Storm, or except for the Lightning, who are also in the Storm division. Everyone else, we got a good lead over. I'm going to talk about it in the future, but we have our matchup this week against the Lightning, and it's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be interesting.
I'm very excited to see that one. I won't be able to see the. I'll be looking at the report card once it comes out at whenever y'all have your match for threes, because I really want to see how you dominate the Lightning.
I'm depending on how it goes, I will hopefully be looking at it too. I will.
Quill, you got any extra tidbits you want to add about any of the teams we're seeing here?
Jets still on bottom.
You know what?
Sorry.
If there's one thing we can say about the Jets, they're consistent. Number 6 in both modes.
I think I need to go back to the Metabase and figure out what draft pick did the Jets have this season.
I
remember because the Jots on top meme started during the draft. Or at least as early as I remember.
That's all I remember is Bears having one.
Bears had the first overall.
I remember Rhinos had 4, maybe something like that.
And right now, where are...
we just lost Fresh, I believe. That's unfortunate. There he's back.
Freshy?
Apologies.
Freshy, okay?
Discord decided to do an update. So right now, the Bears, after they lost Potato Dactyl, I think it was, right? Tato?
Mm-hmm. Tato went up to AL.
After they lost Tato, they have fallen to 3rd place in doubles, and for threes, they have fallen to 7th. Looking good for them.
I've been dunking on them the past 2 weeks, so I will be nice to them this week. In duos, they had a big 4-1 win. That brought them back up to 3rd. So luckily they're hopeful in at least one of them for right now. I can't say much for the threes as to we're not seeing them there anymore, but luckily they got Stick there to hold it down. Stick, one of their better players, a very dominant force. Hopefully he can put on, give them a shot at that 2s run.
Mm-hmm. And now let's go ahead and let's move on into AL. Let's look at the 2's Orange Conference. This is where we're going to get a much bigger picture, a lot more teams competing, a lot tighter races, more people shooting for that play-in spot and fighting their division just to get to the top. I believe, Fresh, you got a few ideas about this one, I believe. You have one of the divisions in mind when you talk about these guys.
Oh, yeah. When we get to this, I would like to say that the Tropic Division race is absolutely wild. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, too. I'm going to reiterate just a little bit for some of the new viewers. The Tropic Division race is absolutely mad lad right now. There are 3 Tropic Division teams in the top 7 of the 16 teams in the conference. So that means that the Mystic teams that did not make it in there, and the 3 Mystic teams that are below playoff contention, starting at number 11 and down, okay, of the 6 teams that are in the bottom half of the league, 3 of them are in the Mystic division, which means they absolutely bombed interdivisional play. So you've got you've got the Shadow coming in at number 2 right now, and they are in a 3-way the Pandas, Pirates, and Sharks and the play-ins are at a 3-way tie right now. The Pandas have a higher goal differential than the other 2 teams, but both the Pandas and the Sharks are in the same division, which means that the Flames can have a chance, even though they're only a few games behind them. The Flames have a chance to knock somebody out of the playoffs entirely. They can swap places with somebody if they get a good enough win. So I believe the way I worded it, if the Flames beat, or I forget who it was that played this week, but if the Flames beat their match this week and the team that they beats loses next week, then that puts them into the playoffs at the very least. It's a very niche opportunity to happen, but the play-ins are very, very close. Spectre, the Spectre are quote unquote in the hunt. Not really seeing that happening. If they get 2 5-0s and bring it up to a 6-4 series record, then maybe they'll bring something in. But other than that, I'm not seeing a whole lot happening in the Twos Orange Conference.
It's definitely that point in the season where every win counts, and as you were saying, it's a whole lot of if this happens and if this happens, this can happen. But also, if this happens, this can happen. This is the point where you got to pay attention to literally every single series. Every single series is as important as the next.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be rooting for the Flames on this one because I really just want a Tropic showdown in the play-ins. Just everyone in the Tropic division throwing at everyone else and leaving Mystic and Sun and Volcanic out just like on a wire by themselves.
It's a dominant Tropic performance this season.
For sure. Let's go ahead and move over to the 3 side. I mean, I'm sorry. I should actually reiterate this. We should move over into the Blue Conference. Thank you.
Compass on
There we
top.
Compass on top. You can say that again for sure.
Gotta enjoy it while I still can.
being in this conference, I definitely like to say this is probably one of the toughest conferences that I see in the league as far as the relation to skill level. You've got the Foxes, who I wrote an article on them, the most goated team in the AL right now. Their stats might not show it, but they are the team to beat, in my opinion. You've got the Ducks, who have a really good record, but they just lost Little Wolf to a rank out to CL. So there goes one of your 12-5s and another one of your 12s. But we've hit roster lock now, so now they've got to find out what they can do for the rest of the season with just the players that they have. And then, of course, you got me, my boys, us Spartans over there at 20-20. But here's the funny thing. Something is not right somewhere. Because Spartans have a 20-20 record, but we have a 2-6 series record in doubles. 2-6. And somehow we are in the top 4 for doubles in the Blue Conference. Makes no sense to me. And then you got the Sabres, who, after absolutely dogging in threes this season at 14-26, have decided to put all their chips on doubles and are fighting for the division leader in the Arctic division. Again, the Arctic division being very, very, very close throughout the season. Not so much now because the Puffins and Wolves have since dropped to 18-22 and 12-28 respectively. But the Arctic division for doubles was definitely a nightmare for that. And then there's the Hive. I don't know what the Hive are doing. I don't know what happened to their season. The Hive are one of the strongest teams. They're coming off the championship last season for threes. They kept a lot of players, but they also had a lot of rank outs. So it goes either way.
And I see a little bit of confusion in chat about how the Spartans are holding on. And let's be very clear here. The rest of your division are just a couple steps behind you, if at all, if one. Because you have Jets and you have the Express, 19-21. You can see them in the hunt, and you cannot see them, but the Knights are trying to catch up, 18-22. And you have, I believe you're facing the Jets this week as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. We can see a lot of shift happening this weekend, but
it's going to go one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
Either the Spartans are going to come out on top, or they're going to drop down and the Jets jump from 9th to 4th. That's the only really outcome that happens. The record that the Spartans have is not super great, but they are there because they have one more individual game won than the rest of the conference. And they have a 21 goal deficit, by the way. Just like to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
The least winningest team is somehow in the top four. But we will step away from twos and go back over to the Academy League 3's Orange Conference. I'll try and fly through this one pretty quickly as I can. And there's your boys, ICB Demolition at top with a 7-1 series record. They have lost one series all season. I don't know who was it that you lost to this season. Do you know?
I think this is the past one actually. I think it was just the one no, that was in CL. I think we lost to I think it was either the Spectre or we had a match against oh my gosh, I should know this. We were talking about how hard this matchup was too.
Get back into the archives. Get into the Brighton archives.
Someone whip out the noteboard right now. But anyways, the Demolition have a 7-1 series record in threes. They are absolutely stomping it, but they have the same series. They have the same individual win-loss record as the Tyrants, the Pandas, and the Bears are not far behind them. The Sharks are also the Sharks are only behind the Bears because the Sharks are not first in their division. They are trailing the Pandas by a single game in a series. That's it. So this again is very, very, very close knit down to the wire. The next 2 weeks you're going to see lots and lots and lots of movement all through the leaderboards. You could take a screenshot of this and move it to the end of regulation play, and everything is going to be changed around. We're going to go ahead and skip on over to the Blue Conference right now because it's just as bad over here, right? You've got the Hawks at 7-1. I don't know how. I don't know what they're doing. Like I made this comment at the beginning of the season with the draft. The Hawks always get slept on in the draft. No one knows what they do. Their team building tactic is completely kept under wraps because every single season they have like a meh draft and then have a god tier team on the field. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know what they do, but they are winning and it works. The Blizzard are not far behind them. They are 26-14. The Foxes, again, their threes team absolutely stacked, 24-16. The Jets are leading us, the Spartans, by looks like a series, and that's all tentative to change. All of this is tentative to change. Other teams in the hunt, Puffins Express, I can see them making playoffs very well. They say there's a low chance, like the Puffins are given a 40% chance to make playoffs, not even just under 40. I see the Puffins making playoffs. The Puffins have had a tough season. They started off really rough. They lost somebody to a rank out, and then they bounced back. So they had a midseason lull during interdivisional play, but now when they're coming back, I should see them a lot stronger now. And then you've got the Eclipse and the Aviators. But let me tell you, the match this week is the Hawks and the Aviators. I don't know. I'm going to watch this one. We're going to talk about it again next week. But Aviators, you better brace yourselves because the Hawks are coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a dogfight, to pun intended, between the Hawks and the Aviators. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be absolutely blurry. And I really hope we can get an affiliate stream for that match because I would like to see it played out just for kicks to see how the series go. But that is AL3s in wrap.
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's keep it moving forward. Let's go ahead and talk about CL2s in that Orange Conference. It's not pretty for me personally. I'm a little upset by it, mostly because I think my CL squad does pretty well in twos. And, they're in the hunt right now. We're up there. But we're just behind the Comets. Look at that. And it's because of our loss to the Spectre. The Spectre, you do not see them on the board at all. But because of that, we are now tied with a loss in the series behind the Comets at the moment. Then, of course, we have the Pirates up on top, matched in winning loss record with the Pandas. We have the Dodgers right behind them at number 3. And then in play-ins, we have the Shadows, the Bears, and the Elite. The in the hunt teams are all just like right behind them as well. Tyrants 2 games behind. Outlaws 1 game behind the Bears, and Wizards 2 games behind us and 2 games behind the number 1 division leader.
That's definitely an exciting. Definitely looks like an exciting setup that they got going forward.
That's really close. The entire race for CL2s in the Orange Conference is very, very close.
Honestly, we just put all these as stream matches.
Yeah, let's just have every match is streamed. Let's take out a cable. Let's take out a network on cable TV so that some grandma in middle of nowhere Nebraska that gets like 3 channels gets the MLE Network and she can watch us play Rocket League 24/7.
And then she joins and becomes the next best player in all Rocket
League. It's like that the gaming grandma that floats around TikTok from time to time.
There we go.
Dominating.
And with that, let's go ahead and let's move on to CL3s Blue Conference and CL2s. Thank you. And up top, we have the Blizzard. Again, one of the 2 teams that are dominating in both modes. We'll see more of that in just a moment. But they are a terrifying force. Only team that is even remotely close to them needs a perfect 5-0 to beat out the Blizzard. And that's if the Blizzard don't feel like playing to the best of their ability for the next couple weeks. Along with that, we also have the Aviators in play-ins. We have let me back up a little bit. We have the Ducks in the number 2 spot. We have the Wolves 20 for 20 in Arctic Division, and then Express right behind them at the number 4, 19 and 21. The Storm Conference right now is dominating play-ins just because it is a lot fiercer competition there. The Blizzards are leading the way, and Lightning and Hurricanes are just coming in and picking up the pieces after them.
Yeah, the Hurricanes are leaving a mess behind them, like Hurricanes do. They're just taking over every game, every series that they play. Their record doesn't really show it, but when you go and you watch the CL Hurricanes play, you're talking Shigiri, you're talking formerly Janitor, in that whole crew that was there last season as well. The Hurricanes, again, they retained a lot of players, especially on Champions League. They kept a lot of their team around. And then the AL team that they had ranked up to CL. So you've got a lot of players that have a lot of chemistry, and the record doesn't necessarily show it, but it's definitely there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a team with a losing record I see in the playoffs right now?
Yes, absolutely. Again, number 1 in the division, but just so many losses. The Forge are, Knights are 1 away. Jets are 2 away from taking that spot. Spartans matching the Jets, also 2 away from taking the Express from their division, from their number 1 seed in the division placement. Clark pointing out very important thing. Blizzard already cinched their 98% chance of making it in the playoffs. They might as well have already declared, yeah, we're just leading the way. It's us. It's us.
The Blizzard are an absolutely cracked team. I really don't know what other way to say it than that. They have a 99.999999% chance to make playoffs, which means I would like to see them replaced by the Eclipse, who have that remaining 0.00001%. I don't know how that would have to happen. There'd have to be like 6 NCPs in a certain order at certain times for that to happen. The stars would have to align, but
the compass would have to align, actually.
What if we take the Blizzard roster and the Eclipse roster and we merge them together to make a perfect 100%?
And then we get that team to sign an RLCS contract and ship them off to Worlds. I love it. Let's do that.
Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and move on to CL3s. Back over to the Orange Conference. Up top, showing a very close, tight-knit race here in CL3s. We have the Bears on top at the moment with the 26-14, followed by the Comets. We have the Flames in the number 3 seed 23 and 17. Volcanic Tyrants, perfectly even match, 2020, right there. Terrible year for me personally. In the plans, we have the Demolition, 22-18, chasing after the Comets as hard as they can, and I think we can overtake them this week, honestly. Pandas followed up by that same matching record with Demolition, and then the Rhinos 20 for 20 as well. I find it fascinating that the rest of the Volcanic division, Bulls are 1 game behind as well. There's a lot of games. There is a very tight division race in CL going on at every single division that I've seen so far. At least 1 to 2 divisions are within 1 to 2 games of each other.
Definitely exciting that these are all close matches. You could literally put on any of them going on this week, and you're in for a show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the series are close too. It's the games. Every single game and every single series matters. We're not in the point in the season where you can be like, oh, we can drop a game or two, or like, oh, we won the series. We can stop sweating as much. It's not as no. Every single game matters, and everything. The tensions are really, really, really starting to rise on this.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely taking years off people's lives with the amount of stress they're getting put through.
Honestly, we're all gonna die at 16 with the amount of stress that is in this division right now.
Moving on, we have the CL Blue Conference as well for threes, and a very familiar team up top. We have the Blizzard now with an even better record of 30-10, 57 goal differential. By the way, they are absolutely dominating everyone in their division and in conference in general. Honestly,
I wonder what they did right. I need their secret. I need to write a how-to book.
I had the fortunate event to cast this threes team play, and let me tell you, they don't play like their CL. I'm not saying anything against them, but what I'm saying is they genuinely have a level of chemistry and a level of skill that precedes the rest of their conference at the end of the day. I'm going to go ahead and call it here first. I do not think that the number 1 team, I do not think that the CL Bears, the number 1 team right now in the Orange Conference, I do not think that they can handle the Blizzard. And I don't think that any team can. With a 57 goal differential, they're not just winning games, they're winning games by margins. And they've already cinched their playoff probability. And this is the first week, or well, now it's the second week, but when this happened and they cinched, it was the first week of returning to divisional play, and they'd already cinched playoff probability. That's how far ahead of the rest of the crew that they are.
So I just went to go look at who's on their roster just to figure out what the chemistry is. They have 4 players on their roster as of this moment. This is after roster lock. There are 4 people on the Blizzard champion team that are playing and leading in 2s and in 3s right now.
Have they had any rank outs, or is this just the team they've been rocking with?
I think they've had a few rank outs, but they couldn't pick them back up. These folks just ranked out and had to go find another team.
Goodness
so we might
gracious.
be in the next 2 weeks, we might be seeing a very different Blizzards team coming in to the last 2 weeks of the regular season.
We're going to watch a live collapse of the Blizzard, or are they going to keep it going?
Mm-hmm.
Emilio's going to rank them out to ML midway through the grand finals. I'm calling it here first.
NCPs for playing an illegal player. Just all around.
Oh, goodness.
I fear for you, Blizzard. Keep your schedules open.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and chug right along. Let's jump right into ML. Let's look at the ML2's Orange Conference here. ML is... So what we have going on here, we have the Bears up on top in ML as well, showing absolute dominance. And then we have matching records between the number 2, 3, and 4 seeds as well. Everyone, Wizard, Dodger, Shadow, all getting 25-15. Flames right behind the Shadow with the 24-16, trying to catch up. And then we have the Tyrants with the 23-17 and Outlaws 17-18. And the Pirates actually, 17-23. There are some missing matches there. I think they had some NCPs over the past weekend. We also have the Bulls 19-21 in the hunt, along with the Pandas, the Sharks, and the Pirates, all right behind them. We have it's a very mysterious world to see a division where they are all so close to each other and yet so far from making it into playoffs where only one of them could even contest in that. It's such a weird world to be in.
So basically a race for the 7th seed.
A race. Or the 4th seed, depending, too.
Oh.
Yeah, because the those 5 through 7, that goes by, if I remember correctly, goes by win-loss record. 1 through 4 is just division leaders. That's it.
Hmm.
You got to beat your division in order to make it into playoffs for sure. And it looks to me like the Mystic division with the Comet Spectre and the Demolition at the very bottom, near the very bottom of ML. I'm unsure if they can make it in twos. It's going to be a very tight-knit race if they do. Moving on to ML Blue Conference, we have twos going up again. We have the Ducks and the Knights both at the top of the leaderboard here. And then we have the Blizzard following them right afterward with 25-15. Wolves at a 22-18. And in the Arctic Division, we see a lot of people getting knocked out there. We have a very tight-knit race in the ML Blues Conference between the Blizzard and the Lightning, both of them having matching records, but the Blizzard winning their last tiebreaker, winning their last head-to-head, and taking that series win from the Lightning in order to cinch that spot in the number 1 spot for their division.
Yeah, it's just you hate to see it. The Spartans down there. Unfortunately, the Spartans, I don't think they're going to catch the Knights. I really don't think so. But we're not going to find out until the last week of play. And for them they would have to almost absolutely 5-0 the Knights in twos just to have a chance to make it in and bring them down enough, knock them out, maybe. But they have a slim to none chance of getting back into the playoffs. And I'm saying this because I'll speak for my own team and I won't speak for everybody else. But I mean, the Puffins have a higher chance than we do, and they're technically below us,
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes.
I don't know. I feel like either the Hawks, I feel like the Hawks might not be able to hold out against the Aviators in ML2s, and you might be able to sneak in that way. But that's up against the Hive too. So
I'm just happy seeing Eclipse logo again.
yeah, y'all are there. Just a nice little blip on the radar. Let's go ahead and move back over into threes real quick and check out the Orange Conference there. Orange Conference, we have the Pandas up top with the Spectre right behind them, the Tyrants following them, and the Rhinos there as well. We have the Comets up top taking that number 5 seed, chasing after the Spectre at the moment. It's 26-14 to 24-16. Comets and Spectre basically in their own race right now. You don't see them on the map. Wizard and Demolition both at the very tail end. Demolition with I think that's a millionth of a chance to make into playoffs. How many zeros is that?
Three zeros. I mean, if you're the elite, it's 3, but that's it. If you're the Demolition, it is 0.0001, which is 10th, 100th, 1000th, 10,000th.
10,000th of a chance. Listen, math was always my enemy in high school and college. But yeah,
I always said when would I ever need math again? This is it. This is the time.
But yeah, we have a really tight race going on with the Sun division right now, with the Bears at 22-18 matching the Rhinos, and the Outlaws 2 games behind them. The Rhinos need to basically dominate in their series and make sure they stay in front of the Bears and Outlaws. I think actually they're matching up this week too. I need to double check though. They are facing off the Outlaws this week, so it will be a very, very tightly contested race for that one. Going on, we have PL, one of my favorite divisions, one of my favorite conferences and leagues personally. We have the PL2s and 3s coming up. PL2s picture, sorry. I'm so used to the 2-3-2-3 orange and blue conference going on here.
Did we talk about ML3's blue?
Oh no, I skipped that entirely. That's my fault.
I was gonna say you can't skip out on my Spartans, bud. I'm coming for you.
Fresh needs this moment.
I need my moment.
Well, I would talk about the Spartans, but I can't seem to find them either.
Oh, you brought yourself to this one, Fresh.
You know what else you can't find, Quilly?
Oh no. Oh no. Please, no. Have mercy.
Let's look at the Wolves dominating the division, the leaderboard at the moment, 29-11, followed by the Lightning at 27-13, the Knights with a 25-15, and the Aviators at 23-17. It currently in play-ins, we have the Hurricanes and the Sabres at 26-14 matching, and Hurricanes, of course, being 1 game behind the Lightning, meaning all they need to do is just challenge themselves a little bit more and beat out the Lightning and their next few matches in order to dominate them on that. and I believe they're not fighting this week. Dang. It's really hard to remember scheduled matches every week. I don't know how I do this as a GM.
Yeah, I'm
Man,
surprised you
almost
do.
it's almost as if we wish we had a metabase link where we could find out what team plays what team every week, like 5 or 6 weeks before the season started. Man,
There
if
are
only
places-
somebody had taken the time to create such a document and give us a link to all of them.
I know.
If you just so happen to go into the command section and put in question mark metabase, it just might bring you to some place.
God. It's funny because I keep looking at the schedule. I just can't keep it in my brain. But yeah, going on, we have the Sky, we have the Hive currently in the hunt right now. They need to get a crushing series win. Same with the Blizzard at the moment. Also, and actually, no, Blizzard just needs to hold on to their position right now. The only people that they're in the race against actually got knocked out as well. Blizzard, you just need to keep winning your series and hope that the Hive don't crush you in their conference matchup.
Yeah, luckily they're not sitting too far behind. It's one of those teams where it's very possible for them to make it in there. That 7 seed's looking nice and easy for them. That Sky #1 spot, on the other hand, definitely a little bit out of reach. They have that Wolves have a really dominant record, and 11 total losses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Wolves have been an absolute terror to watch on match as well, and look at the report cards for. One thing I also just realized: the Hive don't even need to beat the Blizzard. If they just crush their competition and take over the Aviators will be knocking out the Blizzard unless the Blizzard also crush their competition. I would really love to see the Blizzard get knocked out in something at this point.
Preying on their downfall.
Preying on their downfall. Someone has to lose, and I'm picking them. Moving on, we have PL. We're going to talk about the orange and blue conference coming up here. So in twos, we have the Rhino and Hive still maintaining their position, but looking a little bit more unstable, a little bit more unsteady, especially in that blue conference with the Hive. They are 2 wins away from losing their position to the Ducks at the moment. And I'm calling it now. Guaranteed matchup between the Demolition and the Flames for PL2s. 100%. And to kind of highlight this, I went out of my way and I went to go talk to the Flames and I went to go talk to the captain of the Demolition. So to start off, let me talk about what the Flames said about the Demolition. I reached out to PL member John, who is also the AGM, who said, and I'm quoting him word for word here, I think the word suffocating sums up the PL demo in my experience. Led by Just Tuck, I think they're all just really, really solid in the offensive half and play with a lot of speed on the attack. I think the downside is they can be beat by a quick counterattack, but again, you can be under so much pressure that sometimes there's no opportunity for that. And in response from the Demolition side, I got Just Tuck, the captain, to tell me, and I'm quoting him, Jakin and Cheese Sandwich are the only 2 major threats on the Flames roster.
Oh my lord, those are 2 completely different speeds of answers.
Demolition ready for a rumble here. I was laughing trying to hold this back the entire time. A man of few words, Tuck fully expects to see Jakin and Cheese Sandwich, the 2 top salary players on the Flames roster, face them in 2s for playoffs. Oh gosh, I need to do that more often. Just reach out to captains, be like, hey, what do you think of this guy?
Someone would come out full guns a-blazing and just full smack talk.
Mm-hmm. Might as well get them cut a promo. Shatter a chair in the moment.
Style.
All right, looking in threes. Let's go ahead and move over to the threes picture real quick. We have the Shadow and the Hive now up top. Shadow actually beating out the Rhinos this past weekend, taking their #1 seed. Then with that, we have the Hive still in the top position, but again, looking a little bit weaker. A Demolition currently in the hunt, trying the best to fight the Flames and the Shadow as well. There might be something to come of that. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen on that. We're waiting for a few NCPs. If you're looking at the standings and our playoff picture looks different, it's because I went out of the way to get the NCPs first. Then we also to talk about the Blizzard a bit. They are in a very precarious position, actually going down to the #4 seed and being beat out by the Hurricanes. Hurricanes taking their spot and having a great chance at being in playoffs for threes and PL.
It's a very, very, very close race. I know that for when the Spartans, the last time the Spartans played the Hive, I know they struggled. But it's definitely still it's still a close fight. The Ducks are out. For the most part. I'm looking at NCP scores right now, and I'm assuming that the standings sheet is updated from
Not entirely right now. They're still waiting for a few more NCP processes because right now the Pirates are 10-30 at the moment.
I mean, either way, regardless, the Blizzard can still find a way to make it back in. However, the Ducks are just, in my opinion, they are just straight out. They have the worst record in the Blue Conference Standard. They're not something that I would be. It looks like they put all of their chips on doubles. They built a doubles team. They just weren't set up for standard, which is entirely possible. And that a lot of teams and captains and GMs and FMs do that. They will build, if they want a championship, they will build a team around a doubles team or around a threes team. It's a lot easier to build around a doubles team because you need 2 and a sub or 2 and 2 subs or whatever. But for threes, it's a lot harder to build a team up and get something going. But the Ducks, in my opinion, are just right out. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything left for them there in PL3's standard.
I agree with that. And as a GM, I get to a lot of times make the decision. And oftentimes I'm asked, do I want to lean on 2s or 3s more in every league? And my answer is I want both because I'm greedy.
I want both. I want it all. Would you like apple pie or cookies? Yes.
Yes.
So moving on, we're going to move this along really quickly because we're really running out of time. We still got match predictions and we got play of the week to get through still. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Quilly, quick shots, right quick.
I got you. I can speed run this. I'll talk about my own match. It's a stream match coming up Friday. It's the threes. It's a threes rank or the threes match. Gotta get through this. We have equal records. I think is going to be the most important match this week. Personally, not just saying that because I'm in it. Also, spoiler, I'm playing in it. There's a little tidbit for you guys. The record against them, though we have our tied record altogether. Our head-to-head record is 3-2. So whoever wins this series, regardless what happens, takes over second place in our conference. And then right after that, we're jumping into Spartans and Jets threes. That's my other highlighted match. The Jets are sitting in 5th place, just 1 win behind 4th. The Jets on top. They also they have an important and also tough matchup against the Spartans, the number 1 seed, and this is to get them into playoff picture. Unfortunately, the previously mentioned opponent, like I said, they're the number 1 seed. This is not a team like it's no walk in the park. They're dominant one team. They're 3 games ahead of second place. This match is basically make or break for their season if they want to have a chance at making playoffs. And though I'm a lover of the underdog stories, I'm taking a 4-1 win of the Spartans. They're just too good, and Jets, they've been lackluster this year. So taking the 4-1 win.
That's my boy. Good thoughts. Good
Definitely
job.
not saying that because Fresh is in here.
Good choice.
Moving on, we got CL coming up as well too. We have overall the entire Arctic division terrifies me.
AICP.
Oh, I jumped over AL.
What league comes after FL?
PL.
I'm giving you a hard time, bro. I know we got to go fast, but all right. The most anticipated series, the most rival teams of each other, the most rival teams in the league, the Shadow and the Flames. They go at a head-to-head this week. I mentioned it earlier. The Flames had a close loss to the Sharks, but if they beat the Shadow 4-1, 5-0, they can shoot them up into the play-ins, especially if the Sharks lose to the Pandas in week 9. So look forward to that. The AL2's Jets Express and Hive are in the hunt for play-ins, falling short by 1 or 2 series. That entire lot of just those 3 in the play-ins are very, 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 very close. And I know the Hive aren't in that division, but they are in that conference, and their record is very close. So the Sky division is going to take a lot more effort, and the Jets and Express, we'll see how they handle. But also, I said the Hawks will most likely extend their series lead to 8-1 against the Aviators this week. Easy claps. That's all I'm going to say. Easy claps. I don't expect the Aviators to be able to take it. But hey, you guys come out, prove me wrong. Show me what you can do. Okay, now ICB go for CL.
There we go. Sorry. Too excited here. Very, very high paced. again, I want to talk about the Arctic division. We have the Puffins, the Foxes, and the Wolves all someone needs to beat them out so they can take the lead in the division there. And the Wolves have the biggest chance against the Sabres, who is the lowest seed and last in division for the setup. I believe the Wolves are going to sweep through the Sabres and overtake the the Puffins and the Foxes for the division.
I see that happening. That's accurate. That makes the most sense to me, and I say that's a safe call to make. It's not a hot take. It's not a bad idea. It's right in the middle. It's a safe.
I want to do the safe take because it's already cold there. It's Arctic.
You're doing it for the PR, aren't you?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
I got to recover.
So it's everybody's favorite time of the week. It's everybody's favorite segment.
We've got ML and PL.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Do what?
ML and PL.
Oh, I thought you were on PL. I was reading control chat. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go do that.
Over on the 2 side in ML, we have the Aviators versus the Hawks coming up. They will be racing each other to take out the Ducks and the top seed. The question is, with this matchup, who's going to stay in the play-in position and who will be knocked out altogether? If the Aviators take the fight to the Hawks and win, they're in a better position to challenge the Ducks. I'm hoping that the Aviators will take over and dominate that entire series against the Hawks. Moving over to PL, I'm real excited about the Shadows 3 conference playing against the Hurricane. On paper, the Shadow looked like a stronger team, but we've seen major upsets from teams in a far worse position than the Hurricanes. So I'm betting the Hurricanes are going to beat out the Shadow and take over, knocking off their chance of being at number 1 of the Orange Conference. Now for everyone's favorite thing.
Is it now everyone's favorite time?
It's now everyone's favorite time.
It's everybody's favorite segment. It's Play of the Week, sponsored by Balls Guarana. Shout out to you, the guys that did submit clips this week. We're not going to have another PU of the week. We didn't have to go find absolute fails because you took our threats for legal purposes. That's a joke. Seriously, last week, and actually submitted clips of Plays of the Week. So first off, in the first submission that we had, we put it in control. No, we put it in management chat, or we put it in the episode chat. There it is. Okay, so first up, I'm going to mess this up. Erishgal and the ML Dodgers. Go ahead, Isaiah. Roll the clip.
Omega Blaze. So when the ball chipped up,
whatever,
Hammy was able to just send it straight at the net. Great face-off by Hammy there.
Yellow wins the 50, sends it off into the corner. Erishgal trying to beat Hammy out. Ball is right in front of the net. That's a shot opportunity. Erish passing to himself, sending it off the ceiling right into the goal.
Oh my God, where did he come from?
The replay doesn't give it the amount of respect it deserves.
Absolutely not.
I think just like, again, there's definitely some ways to
we're live, by the way.
Don't
mind us talking behind the clip. Ereshgal, right? ML Dodgers,
what a spike.
That just absolutely dominated that. That's I'm not going to tell you who has my vote, but that definitely was absolutely cracked. The predictions on this, man. Yeah, the prediction on that, to be able to read that off the ceiling, even for ML, that's just goated. All right. The second of 3, we have Only One Ivan from FL. Go ahead and roll it.
Up a little more, and I'm going to punish you for it.
Punish you indeed, and just like that, a punishment is in order. Ivan, what a shot to tie the game up, an equalizer, bringing out the steel chair, we call that the equalizer all the time. Ivan, great shot. Oh my goodness, that might be Play of the Week potential.
The first season.
You want to talk about good plays from FL players. That is a really strong mechanical play coming out of an FL player, mind you. Now, FL is like the lowest of the skill leagues.
Whoa.
Lowest. Whoa. Quotation marks. I said quotation marks, Quilly. Get off my back, okay? The lowest. I was in FL for a period of time, okay? The lowest of the skill leagues. It's the one you least expect that out of. So that's a huge plus to see that. You love to see it, and it's always a blast to catch the FL matches. So
trying to make us look competent down in FL, the fun league.
And then last but not least, Trash Panda, AL Bears. Go ahead and roll that one too.
Will this be the momentum the Bears need to bring the series back in their favor?
Well, it does definitely help them out a little bit as they have a little bit of the momentum in this game. Can they get another? Oh, what a fake! The flick, the shot! Oh, what a shot coming out from Trash Panda! It's 3-2!
Please clip that. Someone in chat, please clip that for me, personally. What a great fake. What a great series of mind games against the Rhinos. Trash Panda shown at all times.
All right. And then so that's it. Those are submissions we had for this week. Go ahead and vote in chat now who had the best play of the week. I already see a commanding lead by one player. It's the best thing. My favorite thing about play of the week is it gives credit where credit is due. Where you had that one moment where you tried really hard on stream, you had a viewership, you had the crowd in the stands. It's like, this is for some players, and this is as close to professional as they're going to get. But the way that the league comes out and treats them like they're professionals and gives them that professional level of look and play absolutely is unmatched in any other minor league. So I feel like the term minor league esports is the very, very fitting definition of it. Oh, we have lots of votes this week. Oh, it's
lots
close.
of votes. It's a tie right now.
It might have to come down to a tiebreak. Oh, now it's a three-way tie. Who
comes
did
down to
that?
our votes. It's
Which
gotta be
one
our
you did?
votes.
I know you voted for that one just to make it a three-way tie. Someone's going to have to be a tiebreaker.
They got to give us a say in this.
Has the panel voted?
I have voted.
Did we vote in chat?
Yes, go vote in chat. Oh, he's going to open up Twitch now. Hurry up. Be the tiebreaker.
Just real quick, if you were in an affiliate stream or an official MLE stream, please make sure to watch for clips. Send those after your game if you've been playing, or if you have one of your players in there, send it. If you ever need the form, feel free to @ me directly and I can get that to you, or talk to your GM.
Boys, we have a three-way tie. We have a three-way tie. ICB, I don't know what to do. How do I cast this?
I just pull ended. I couldn't get my vote in. I was voting for player.
Oh my god! I don't know what happens here.
Can we get marketing on the line? Can we just get marketing on the line and be like, hey, we have a three-way tie. What do we do?
Tell you what. Executive decision.
1v1v1.
Let's keep the clips as they are. Let's keep the votes as they are. We will take it to Lychee, and we'll take it to upper management and marketing, and we'll see what they want us to do. If we can get away with 3 packs of Balls Garana, that's fine. Maybe. If they make us do a revote in community announcements or whatever it is, then we'll do that. But we will, because there's no point in really taking a revote because everybody's going to vote for the same one again. So, we'll take the votes as we are. We have a 3-way tie for play of the week. That has never happened before. I guess you learn something new every day.
Such great clips.
So, you 3, Areshgal, Only One Ivan, and Trash Panda, you 3 keep your eyes out from word for the rest of us, either the OpenNet team or someone, an admin in Areshgal. Sorry, not Areshgal. From someone in management in MLE. Don't reach out to us or the mailbox. We will get a hold of you and figure out what's going on. But we're gonna talk about who gets what this week and what goes on with that. So without further ado, boys, we are on the money, on the dot, max time limit that we can hit. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We've had great reviews. We got to talk with the Sprocket guys. We got to look at all of the individual standings for every division of every league and every match. And we got to talk about quick rapid fire matches that we almost skipped 2 leagues in because I'm rushing. So without further ado, ICB, Quilly, it's been great. It's been fun. And I really appreciate you guys coming out and having the fun with us tonight. You guys have any final words?
Yeah. Playoffs, 2 more weeks. We're done with the roster lock. We are done with the rank outs. We have 2 more weeks. We have 12 days. There we go. I can count 12 days till playoffs are finalized. This is it.
Yeah, this is it. This is the end of season 14, and oh, what a journey it has been. I can't wait for maybe an open net episode that recaps the whole season with videos and clips. I don't know. Maybe if you guys want to put something together or submit us clips, we'll figure something out. We'll come up with some creative ideas, but we also love to hear from you guys about what OpenNet is to you guys and ideas for the show. And I know I have lots of you always reaching out to me for talent and comment and content positions. So keep doing that. If you want to be on the show, you want to be behind the scenes, you want to do whatever you want to do, go ahead, reach out to myself or ICB, and we will go ahead and get you on the track to get up here as quickly as possible. But that is all from us tonight. That is all from us. If you guys want to see another episode, come back next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye.